Today, hundreds of young people, well not hundreds, less than 100, who did not hear the hard is. They did not listen. They ended up on a list.
That's Guyana's President Irfaan Ali speaking at a political rally over the weekend on the potential closure of bank accounts for other individuals linked to the We Invest in Nationhood W.I.N political party or its leader, Azruddin Mohamed. You're watching The Final Takeaway. Stick around to find out who else could lose their bank accounts or join the famous or infamous blacklist. The list Ali is referring to is a list of individuals linked to W.I.N and or its presidential candidate, Mohamed. Mohamed is a Guyanese billionaire businessman who is currently under US sanctions for alleged crime and corruption involving but not limited to gold smuggling, drug trafficking, and tax evasion. He also remains on $500,000 bail on a tax fraud case initiated by the Guyana Revenue Authority. Despite these allegations and criminal charges, Mohamed's party is steadily gaining traction, and it threatens to give the People's Progressive Party Civic, the PPPC, stiff competition at the September 1 elections. Scores of Guyanese have joined the party in one or more capacity with the goal of unseating the incumbent PPP government. But as fast as you could say cheese, they found their names circulating on a list of people who may be blacklisted from local institutions, including financial banks. Let's hear more from Irfaan Ali.
The global community said to you, if by association you go this way, there will be penalties. Today, who are going to take care of those young people now who don't have a bank account? They're blaming the government. We have nothing to do with that. We warned you.
On June 11, 2024, the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, imposed sanctions on Azruddin Mohamed and his father, Nazar Mohamed. The men, along with May Thomas, a PPP government official, were sanctioned for a flurry of alleged offenses and public corruption. The Mohamed's businesses, Mohamed's Enterprise, Mohamed Racing Team, and Hattie's World, which operate in Guyana, were added to the list as sanctioned entities. What's more, the Guyana government points out that Mohamed's political candidates and associates could be subject to law enforcement actions stemming from Mohamed's sanctions due to their close links to Mohamed and his party. Persons may also face penalties for links to Mohamed's affiliated sanctioned business entities.
And I've been told on Monday that more young people will receive letters of closures of their account from other banks.
We've learned that so far, dozens of W.I.N party candidates have had their bank accounts closed by Demerara Bank, Citizens Bank, and the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry, GBTI. W.I.N has accused the government of a politically orchestrated effort to destabilize the party and has called for a boycott of the involved banks. There are also talks of bringing legal action against the said banks. In a video we published over the weekend, Guyana's Vice President Bharrat Jagdeo disclosed that other banks are expected to cut ties with Mohamed's associates in a sweeping move to de-risk and comply with international banking regulations. These include anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism (AML-CFT) laws that banks must comply with. But many people are asking, what does this have to do with Mohamed's OFAC sanctions? Well, OFAC's regulations generally prohibit all transactions by U.S. persons or within or transiting the United States that involve any property or interests in property of designated or otherwise blocked persons. OFAC also made it clear in its warnings that financial institutions and other persons that engage in certain transactions or activities with the sanctioned entities and individuals may expose themselves to sanctions or be subject to enforcement action.
It says ordinary people run the risk of law enforcement action if they deal with him. How come they're now reading this? The OFAC sanction was quite clear. It says financial institutions cannot deal with this man, or else they run the risk of being sanctioned by the US, losing correspondent relations. These are financial institutions. The banks are financial institutions.
Financial transactions that could face scrutiny include contribution or provision of funds, goods or services by, to, or for the benefit of any designated or sanctioned person, or the receipt of any contribution or provision of funds, goods or services from any such person. That person in this case would be Azruddin Mohamed. Note, OFAC does not stipulate in the published sanction documents whether these warnings apply to financial institutions in Guyana. Meanwhile, we already reported on what Jagdeo had to say about allegations that his government is behind the bank's freezing or closure of bank accounts owned by W.I.N's party candidates. Here's a recap.
That's what they do all the time. Make themselves look like they're victimized by the PPP because he's trying to run. Has nothing to do with the PPP.
Banks generally aim to prevent the use of illicit funds and protect themselves from reputational and legal risks associated with sanctioned individuals. The Guyana Association of Bankers emphasized that licensed commercial banks have strict regulatory obligations that are crucial for preserving the financial system's integrity, including AML-CFT requirements that we just spoke about and global risk management practices. Like Jagdeo, President Irfaan Ali has also denied any government involvement in the bank's decisions. He noted that the candidates were warned about the potential consequences of teaming up with Mohamed.
Who are going to take care of those young people now who don't have a bank account? We warned you.
The government's stance is that Guyana should not be a safe haven for sanctioned individuals or corrupt actors, and that the nation's financial system must be safeguarded. For more details on this story, check out our other video titled "You Won't Believe Why More Banks to Cancel Mohamed's W.I.N Party Members' Accounts." Be sure to drop your comments in the comment section below. That's it for now. See you in the next video.